top 10 shaders for MCPE. On the number 10 spot, we have the LBT shader. The LBT shader is perfect for low-end devices. In this shader, we have brighter lighting and darker defined shadows. I absolutely love the way the shadows look like. Take a look at that. And also, what's really unique is that the colors are not made to be incredibly saturated. If we go underwater, here's how things do look like. As you can tell, everything looks way more better. We have a nice and amazing looking distortion effect. Here is how the shader looks like during the sunset. It looks absolutely amazing. I really do love it. Simple, but it gets the job done. Next up, we have the RFS and the YVEBE shader. This is how the shader does look like, and it looks absolutely amazing. So as you can tell, we have brighter lighting and darker defined shadows. And here's how the water does look like. If we go underwater, as you can tell, we have this crazy looking distortion effect right over here, and everything is just all wobbly. And this is made to make the shader far more realistic. But this shader is good because it will run on basically any device. Here is how the sunset of the shader does look like. As you can tell, the sunset is definitely made to be absolutely bright. We have so many different shades of yellow and orange. Next up, we have the ENBS shader. The ENBS shader is made to be absolutely simplistic, and I really do love it. However, what's really unique is that it actually comes with a built-in player shadow right over here that actually does correspond with our movements. So quite literally, as we do walk or run, the shadow will also do the same thing. And if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. As you can tell, things look absolutely amazing. I really love the way they do look like. Now, what I really like is that they actually made the clouds way more realistic as well, which is definitely another major plus about the shader. And here is how the sunset does look like. We have a nice photorealistic sunset right over there, and so many different shades of orange, and in general it is just so beautiful. Next up, we have the ultra realism shader. The ultra realism shader is made to be very bright, and I absolutely love it. They definitely do make the colors a bit more saturated, but it definitely is pretty good. If we go to the water of the shader, as you can tell, we have these amazing and realistic textures over here and animations. It just looks super duper amazing. I hope you guys are able to notice. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. We get this beautiful lighting effect right over here. Definitely one of the most beautiful looking effects out there. And here's how things do look like during the sunset. As you can tell, the sunset is made to be absolutely massive, but also it is reflected on the water right over here, and we're just able to see everything, and it just looks super duper amazing. Next up, we have the appropriately named milk shader right over here. So as you all know, you guys absolutely love milk, which is why I decided to include this shader, because it is called the milk shader. And believe it or not, jokes aside, the milk shader is actually made to be really good because it is able to run on basically any device. It does not require that much power, and it's pretty simplistic, but that's what makes it good. For starters, we do get brighter lighting and darker defined shadows as well. And here's how the sunset does look like. As you can tell, in this shader, we have a diamond shaped sunset right over there, which is definitely pretty unique. And also, we're able to see a reflection of it on the water over here, and it just looks super duper beautiful. I really love it. Next up, we have the SERP shaders. I really love what they did with the SERP shaders because they made the colors far more saturated. But what's really unique about this shader is that we also get darker and defined shadows as well. And also, take a look at this photorealistic sky over here, which definitely does look amazing. Water is actually made to be really amazing. We have this really detailed and cool water animation right over here. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. As you can tell, things look absolutely insane, really beautiful. The sunset looks absolutely amazing, and we're able to see the light being reflected on the water as well, which is definitely another major plus. Next up, we have the Libra shaders. The Libra shaders are made to be incredibly bright and vibrant. For instance, take a look at the grass over here, and also look at these wavy leaves and wavy vines as well. They look absolutely insane. We also do get darker and defined shadows as well. But anyways, boys, I really love the way the water does look like. We have some of the most unique water animation out there. It looks absolutely detailed and really amazing. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. As you can tell, things look absolutely amazing. We have this amazing looking distortion effect. And of course, we do have this really cool lighting effect that I hope you guys are able to notice. But if you set this bad boy to sunset, here's how things do look like. We have the nice and bright looking sunset right over here with so many different shades of purple, orange, and yellow. Such an amazing and beautiful touch to the shader. Next up, we have the the Real Resource RTX texture pack for MCPE. Believe it or not, this is actually an RTX texture pack, and as you can tell, it really does show. We have some of the most realistic and detailed textures out there that I hope you guys are able to notice. This is actually a Java Edition inspired texture pack, as you guys are able to tell right over here. And also we do have new water animations as well, which definitely do look absolutely insane. Look at the crazy amount of detail right over there. That is genuinely really awesome. And also we do have realistic looking clouds as well, and it definitely does look absolutely amazing. Next up is the Pinecone shader. The Pinecone shader is made to be absolutely beautiful. As you can tell, we have way brighter lighting, and also we have way darker and defined shadows as well. It definitely does look amazing. If we go to the water, you can tell that the water is made to be pretty clear and pretty simplistic. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. As you can tell, we are able to see a slight distortion effect, and things definitely do look very cool underwater. And in terms of the sky, we do have a somewhat of a realistic sky. There's like some sort of cloud over here, but we do have a realistic sun right over there, which is definitely another major plus about this shader. If we set this bad boy to sunset, take a look at that. We are able to see the nice realistic sun right over there, and we're able to see the light being reflected on the water right over here, which is just super duper amazing, and I love the way it looks. Last but not least, we actually have the experimental shadow shader. In order to access it, we need to download this specific world over here, and then we need to go ahead and actually enter it just like so. Now trust me, this will be 100% worth it, and this is actually a replica of RTX for mobile devices. So as you can tell, we are able to see everything over here. This just looks super duper cool. I hope you guys are able to notice, but we are able to see all of the RTX effect. And look at that, we even have this cool like green and blue background over here, and of course we are able to see the ray tracing effect over here. Now keep in mind, this is not like actual ray tracing, because if we do move out of this one block over here, then the effect will go away, which is kind of unfortunate, but I still think it's pretty cool how we are able to get like somewhat of a replica of RTX. See you later, French fries.